Hey, what's going on guys? So it's actually been probably a few days since you saw the last video. So unfortunately towards the end of the last video, my camera's memory card got full on the other camera. I did use this one for a little bit, but it was a little bit hard to capture everything we were doing. Basically, we got the gearbox in, we got the tail shaft in, everything was done. We started the car. There was an issue with the clutch, which I managed to fix the next day. It was just the clutch pedal push rod wasn't extended out far enough, so I had to adjust that. So the car's running now. It's actually back on the ground, as you can see. So what's actually come today is the actual manual brake pedal, the shorter one. I didn't end up cutting the automatic one. It was just going to be a bit of a nightmare to get it lined up. So I've got the factory manual brake pedal to go in tonight. As well as I've got the interior manual trim piece and the gear knob finally. So all that's ready. I'm hoping to get that all done tonight. I will be driving it tomorrow. However, just wanted to mention that I'm actually going to be driving it on the manual computer that I've got. I tried to sort out the circuit that I was using for the automatic computer. Now most of it worked, except for there's two solenoids that are in the automatic gearbox. The resistance of those solenoids are very low, so there's a lot of current that flows through that solenoid. So putting a low ohm resistor in place of it was actually causing the resistor burnout. Since then I've done some calculations, and actually if we need it to run properly with a resistor, it needs to be a power resistor, which is like a massive thing with its own heat sink, and it should be 10 ohm at 25 watts. So that's actually quite big, and that's not something that I can include in the little PCB board. I've got some plans to work around it, but for now, just to get the car up and running and get some kilometers on the clutch, I'm actually going to be using the factory manual computer that I bought quite a long time back. So that should get me up and running, and I've got an event this Saturday as well that I'm trying to make. Hopefully I can get there, fingers crossed. Anyway, so tonight I'm going to go start working on the pedal and then start working on the interior. I'm going to have to put that rusty FRP cover on, which I did trim and get sort of into place. But I also got some sound deadening that we need to line up underneath it. So that's the automatic brake pedal. There's a few pins that I need to pull here to get that shaft out, just like we did on the clutch pedal. There's also an alignment here, which I'll need to take note of. I'll probably have to do a similar alignment on the new pedal. And I'm just trying to figure out how to take it out. So I'll go ahead and do that now. I just wanted to also show you guys that I took that part of the footrest off, just to expose the normal carpet underneath. I've got to clean it up still, but yeah, that basically can cut away if you use a Stanley knife. So when I get a chance, I'm going to try my best to mold this a little bit smaller so it's more out of the way of the clutch pedal. And yeah, worst case if I do end up needing to do something about that, I'll end up using an IS200 dead pedal, which is like an actual plastic thing that sits on top of the carpet, or I'll get an aftermarket stainless little cover one that a lot of people use for racing anyway. Okay, I got the brake pedal out. It's a bit of a pain. So the first thing you want to do is, when you're up there, is remove this pin. Now this holds the brake pedal clevers, just like we had on the clutch pedal in place. There is a small sort of locating pin thingy here. You remove that first. This will slide out a little bit, but then it will foul on the steering column shaft. So once that's loose, you need to get a 14mm, and from the right hand side you basically start undoing the bolt that goes through the top of the pedal itself. As you undo it, the washer that sits on the left hand side and the nut will fall down. You take the bolt out, wiggle this around a little bit, and it will come out of where it's sitting. and then you just need to undo this, the brake switch. There's a small clip that's in place. I was going to try and see if I can get an angle of it, but no, it's a bit too hard to film stuff like this when you're on such a weird angle. So anyway, this is out now. I'm going to bring over the manual brake pedal and we can start installing that. I just noticed that once you unplug that brake pedal switch, your brake light's going to be on, so it's probably best to disconnect your battery. So this is the new brake pedal on the right hand side. The only thing I need to swap over, which I forgot to buy actually, was the little stopper. I'll just pop that in this one. It's actually already been aligned, it's got markings. The only other thing I've done is put a little bit of grease just on here and also in that middle shaft just there. It already had some grease where the pin goes, so that's all good. Probably didn't even need it there, but I just put it anyway. It's also got an extra one of these clips on the top. I left the one from the other one on there, so I'm not sure, I might swap it over. So it's a new clip. I'll do that now and then we can start installing it. I actually also forgot to buy the center shaft and the little two clips that go on either side, but they're a direct fit from the automatic one, so I'll just swap that over. I've got that green pad there as well, so it's pretty much ready to put back in. So I'll go ahead and do that now. Wish I could show you guys exactly what I'm doing, but basically, so this is the nut, bolt and washer. The washer stays on the left hand side with the nut, and that basically goes through that top hole. Alright, that was actually quite difficult getting it all back into place. Just tight fit. Anyway, I'm just going to go put the rubber cover on. Eventually I'm going to change these for the cold climate, the metal sort of sporty looking ones, as well as that. But for now I'm just putting the rubber one on. So that's pretty much done. It should all be aligned because it came with factory alignment. Oh, one last thing, I forgot, there's this spring that you also take out. And that's how it fits. So there's a little hook at the top and the second part of it goes onto that pin. So make sure you put that pin the right way. Now I'm going to move to working on the center console. I have to line up that FRP cover, see the best way I can to seal it. I want it to be removable. Most people like fully silicone it and seal it. I actually want mine to be removable just in case. So I'm going to try and find the best solution for that tonight, and hopefully that's it.